Hey, what's going on everybody? Walt here, and today I'm going to be replacing a rocker switch panel. Mine look like this, and I ain't with that. This is more like it. Check this out. Start off by removing all the screws holding on the old panel. Remember not to get discouraged when you pull off the old panel and see all this crazy wire madness. I got your back. I'll help you get through it. It's a good idea to label all the wires running to specific functions like bilge pump or nav light. It'll help you stay organized. I just rip off a piece of tape and fold it over the wire, take a permanent marker and jot down what the wire belongs to. Once you're done with that, you can just cut everything, keeping the old panel attached. And chuck it. If y'all find any of this useful or just want to rock out with tangled lines, hit that subscribe button. I post every week. If the opening is too big for the flange to cover, you'll have to make a base plate. Here's how. Cut a board big enough to cover the entire hole. If you're going to use a circular saw too, make sure you set the depth of the blade to 1/8 inch past the bottom of the board. That'll prevent the blade from binding. Measure the back of the panel and find the center of your measurement. Now find the center of the base plate. Divide the rocker panel measurement by 2 and take that number and pull it off the center of the board. For example, I'm using a piece of pressure treated 1x4. There's a few different options like Starboard and AZAC, but this was the cheapest. I paid $5 for a stick and I can do 10 more of these. I'm not gonna, but I could. Not to mention it's really good with the water, especially after painting. When you're done making your marks, line them all up with a speed square. It should look like this. Put X's on the part you're gonna cut out as a reminder. Drill a hole on the inside corner of your rectangle. Take a jigsaw and cut it out. And boom, to the shaka and the laka. I hope everybody is enjoying this so far. Let's keep going. I'm going to bevel the edges to give it a better design. To do this, I'm going to run it through a table saw with the blade angled at 45 degrees. I set the guide to where the blade only cuts out the front corner. And I'll repeat the process on every side. I'm using an orbital sander to sand it smooth, but you can sand it by hand if you don't have one. The bulkiness of this plate didn't sit well with me, so I'm going to make it a 1/4 inch thinner. If you're going to do the same thing, make sure to set the blade to where it only cuts halfway through the plate at a time. Flip it over and run it through again, and watch those digits. I put a screw in a small portion of the way and wrap the wire around it to hang it. Now I'm going to spray it with some Rust-Oleum Appliance Epoxy Spray Paint. I use this stuff a lot, which you'll see in future videos. This stuff's awesome. It's washable, moisture resistant, it comes in a few different colors, and best of all, it's cheap. If you're interested in purchasing the rocker switch panel or the epoxy paint, click on the link in the description and you would greatly support my channel. Note, I will get a portion of the sale, but it won't come out of your pocket. Thank you very much, you're the best. Screw the rocker panel to the base plate with stainless steel screws. I highly suggest you pre-drill the holes where you're going to screw the panel into the center console. That way it doesn't crack when you drive the screws in. Clean up the panel area with a magic eraser and water. For all my connections, I'll be using marine grade heat shrink butt connectors. Slide both positive wires in the butt connector and crimp. Now you're going to repeat the process for the negative wires. Take a heat gun and heat up both connectors until they shrink. Take stainless steel screws and screw them in the pre-drilled holes to mount them to the center console. Subscribe and stay tuned to see what accessories I hook up to the panel, and power up that like button because it just feels good for both of us. Test out all the switches to make sure they're working properly. And take a look at what it looks like at night.